Hey guys, I'm Mr. Cotter, and I am the faculty advisor for the Assabet Speech and Debate Club. And the club is brand new, so we're getting a ton of questions. What is this club all about? What will I do if I join this club? So I'm here today to hopefully answer some of those questions. First of all, what do we even do? And what is this Speech and Debate Club? So ultimately, right, high schools all over the country, all over the state have speech and debate clubs, and there are competitions. And basically, there are three types of events. There are speaking events, which are, I don't know, probably the most common ones that you're probably most familiar with, where you're giving like a persuasive speech, you're trying to convince an audience of something, kind of impromptu, you have very little prep time. Radio broadcasting, you take a message and you try to deliver that as effectively as possible. Dramatic performances, but these are events where it's basically one person speaking to an audience, right? Now, a debate event is where you have groups or individuals speaking to each other, right? Maybe arguing about a particular topic. One group will make some points, the other group will make some points. Also, the Lincoln Douglas style events are more like one-on-one debates, where you would have a debate against, say, someone from Shrewsbury High School about some topic that was decided at the event. Other events, there are reading events, which are like reading plays, reading poetry, reading prose, children's literature, things like that. And those are kind of basically the three big types of events. You're speaking to an audience with your own material, right? You're reading to an audience with material from some other source, or you are having a debate, which is more of an interactive speaking event. Right? And the question is, well, will we compete? And do I need to compete? So first answer is yes, we will. I believe mid-March, maybe early April, we will have an event that we will participate in, where all of our practice and all of our training will pay off, and we will get to actually compete against other schools. But the question, do I need to compete? The answer to that is no. You don't have to compete. Nobody has to compete. I have a feeling that students will want to, that they will choose to, but there will be no pressure to compete. There will be no need to compete. So now, how do you get started? Like, what do you actually do if you want to be on the Speech and Debate Club? Well, the first thing you do is come to a meeting. Now, right now, we're saying the meetings will be Thursdays, B-week Thursdays, starting at 2:45. So 2:45 to roughly 3:45, so you'll have time to get a little extra help, and you'll have time to catch the bus when you leave. I understand some of you guys can't do Thursdays or can't do B-weeks or whatever the case may be, so there will probably be some flexibility there. But generally speaking, that time, 2:45 on either Tuesdays or Thursdays will be when we'll have the meetings. So the first thing you do is just come to a meeting, sit back, relax, enjoy, get to know some of the students in the club, and just kind of see what they're doing, right? And really no pressure, just, kind of be a part of it. I'll be there if you want to talk to me about what you're interested in. But yeah, just come and join us. Now, step 2 would be to do an icebreaker. Now, what an icebreaker is, it's super laid back. Basically, you are just going to talk to the group about anything you want, right? You talk about yourself. That's totally fine. Yourself, things that you're interested in. Again, super laid back. All this is, the icebreaker, is just your opportunity to get the experience of speaking in front of a group. On your own terms, which is ultimately what we're doing in the Speech and Debate Club. The next thing you're going to do is what I call the message, right? This is kind of your second project, and this is going to be kind of a fun thing where, you're doing your speech, and, you're going to have a super supportive group with you, watching you, right? And then, 5 minutes later, they'll be doing a speech. So clearly they're going to support you, right? Because they're going to be up next. But the second project is a little more elaborate, because what you have to do in this case is you want to structure your message. So you may have notes, these are the points that you want to get across. So it's a little more official, but really you're focusing on coming up with a message, right? Saying what you're trying to get across, have some points, really try to bring it home. But that's what the goal is, right? Constructing a message that kind of makes sense, that flows, that does whatever you want it to do. That is kind of our second project, and you can use notes. You can read your notes up there if you want to. And it's just the goal of creating and delivering a message, and then the next project, the third thing, and the last thing that you do before you start picking events and practicing for specific speech and debate events is what I call the delivery. So this is where you could use notes if you wanted to. Some students choose to use visual aids or things like that. But the goal is for you to really own the message, right? To have a speech, and really we're talking, probably 5 minutes maybe, right? And you know this so well, right, that you don't have to read notes, right? You can focus on the audience in front of you, which is really the most important thing, or at least half of the equation, right? You can have the greatest message, but if you can't deliver it effectively to the audience in front of you, right, it kind of loses something. So this third and final project, I'll call it, we call the delivery, where you're really focusing on the skills of public speaking beyond just structuring an effective message, right? And then step 5 is kind of what everyone's waiting for. Practice any event you want, right? So I talked about all those events. Hey, you may have a particular type of speech, like I've talked to a student earlier that wants to do a dramatic performance, or some students that really thrive at the impromptu or extraneous speaking, where other students, want to do like a persuasive speech, or some students that just say, hey, I just want to do debates. I want to learn how to debate. I want to get good at debating. And then also those reading events are still on the table, right? So, reading poetry, things like that. You don't necessarily have to have your own material, right? You could present someone else's material. And you don't have to practice all the events. You could really just focus on one particular event. I'm sure there's students that will want to do multiple ones. But again, there's no pressure to do that. You pick the event that you like the most, that you feel, kind of fits you the most. So all of this we are going to do with the help and support of our team. And really that's that. So if you still have questions or you still want more information, my room is B230. You can find me anytime. I'm all over the school, but usually I'm teaching math class. And go to this URL. You guys have heard it before, tinyurl.com/Assabet Speech. This is where you could just reach out to us and tell us that you're interested. You got some questions, and we will do our best to get back to you. And hey, you know where to find us. So again, I'm Mr. Cotter. We're really excited about the Speech and Debate Club. And hey, we really hope you check it out.